What is up, my YouTube friends? I'm trackside, I'm in the woods. What a better place to talk about it. It's finally here, the Lumber Chronicles. I'm going to help you make better choices and help you pick lumber for your railroad empire benchwork. I'm going to take you through probably 3 parts. This is the first part. I'm going to just talk about lumber and just a little bit information about lumber. Not all lumber is the same. You have construction grade lumber and furniture grade lumber. And when I say furniture grade lumber is just I don't want to say, it's just a generic term for a larger group of lumber that is of better quality than construction lumber. A little bit about me. I'm a woodworker, okay? And I just happen to be a finish woodworker. I don't like to label myself as a cabinet maker, furniture maker. I just so happen to make cabinets and furniture, and you see me do restoration work on trolleys and trains. So I am in the finish industry, okay? I am not a rough framer, rough carpenter. I don't know all of the products available in that industry, but I do know what's available in my industry, and they're different. They're not the same. And if you have a construction, say like a rough framer guy building your layout, helping you build your layout, he may not be knowledgeable about things in my industry, as I am not knowledgeable about things in his industry. Okay? So let me just talk about lumber real quick. Lumber is still a living thing once it's cut. Okay? It still expands and contracts to your environment. It's always moving. Okay? Some lumber moves more than others. Construction grade lumber is held to a different standard than finished grade lumber. Construction grade lumber, it's not meant to be perfectly straight, perfectly flat. You're building walls, they're hidden behind drywall. They're just not, they don't have to be perfect, as opposed to a cabinet grade, furniture grade material. It needs to be pretty perfect, as perfect can be. Let me talk to you about moisture content. You'll notice if you take a 2x4, sometimes one is really heavy and one is not. So what that is moisture that's still left in the wood. So when the tree is cut down, milled in the lumber, say the moisture content at that point is 80%, okay? That's wet. There's a lot of moisture still in that lumber, okay? And what they do is they put all wood, mostly big commercial places that are selling wood, are putting wood into kiln ovens. And these ovens bring the moisture content down slowly over a period of time. For furniture, it could be, 5-6 weeks, depending on the thickness of the lumber, the type of the lumber, that this material stays in the kiln. In the construction world, it's not. They don't, for one thing, if construction lumber was kept in the kiln that long, it would reflect in the price of the lumber. The reason why construction lumber is so cheap is because they just harvest as much as they can from the tree, dry it to a industry standard that is, say, between 15% to 30%, and some higher. Some might have 50% moisture content still in them. So, and that's evident in new construction. When you see new construction and you see cracks in the corners, in your house. You see cracks in the corners, nail pops. That's not necessarily happening from settling. That's happening from your lumber drying out. It's shrinking, okay? Moisture content leaves, the lumber shrinks. So that's what's causing that. In the furniture industry, this moisture content is between 12 and 8%, 6%, and your climate and your location is going to be a big factor in those numbers. Arizona is a much drier climate than here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Big difference. So what I plan to do with this series is take you to the big box places, walk you around, show you, help you pick out what is available at those stores. And like I said, this is how you should do it, and that's it. Because there's obviously thousands and thousands of layouts out there that are on 2x4s and outdoor plywood. And if that doesn't matter to you, then no big deal. This is all just, if you want to watch it, great. If not, it's really not important to you. But I feel that, and talking to other modelers too, that any deviation in your material, if your material's moving, if your material isn't flat, and by flat I don't mean level, I mean like plywood, for instance, lesser, I don't want to say cheap because I don't like that word, lesser quality plywood has variations in thickness. They're never, it could say it's 3/4, it's never 3/4, but it might be wavy, and that's just due to the process of making the material. Furniture grade plywood, much different. It's truly flat. I mean, you could put a level on it and it is truly flat. Okay, so I'm going to take you, like I said, to the big box store, and if that's all that you have available, I'm going to show you products that they carry that will hopefully help you pick better lumber if this matters to you and your layout. And where I think it will really matter is in the smaller scales, N scale, Z scale, and even HO, because there's guys out there now that are having problems with parts of their layout, and it all comes back to not picking the right plywood for what they were doing. And it's no fault of their own, it's just, that's what they know, and hopefully this little series of videos will help educate you to make better choices if you want to. If it matters to you, great. We'll go, like I said, to the big box store, look around, and I'll help you pick better lumber, what to look for, what you don't want, and what is acceptable. Then I'll take you to my local lumber yard, and you'll see a difference in materials that are available to you at your local lumber yard versus a big box store. Huge difference. You could spend hours picking 10 2x4s at one of the big stores, or you could go to your local store and that this lumber is going to be fine. So you're not going to have to sort through a huge stack just to get 10 boards. What you get is pretty much going to be what you get. It's going to be good lumber. You might pay a little bit more for it, but you know that it's good lumber. So I hope this all helps you, and I hope you get something out of it. Buckle up. It's going to be a good ride. Let's have fun. Be well, be blessed. Until the next episode. See ya!